Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we are about to take a literal vertical descent into the absolute unknown. We're going to dive down, and I mean way, way down, into the deepest, darkest secrets of our very own planet. Now, this isn't just about water. It's really about pushing the absolute extreme limits of physics, biology, and human courage. So get comfortable, and let's take the plunge. Okay, let's dive right into this. We all know the basics, right? Our world is dominated by water. Earth is basically 75% water and only 25% dry land. But what's truly staggering is that even that 25% of land isn't fully explored. Researchers estimate that more than half of our dry land, the freezing Arctic regions, terrifyingly dense jungles, impossibly high mountain peaks, and endless deserts, has barely been mapped by human feet. But as wild as the land is, it really just pales in comparison to the massive blue slice of this pie. And then we hit this number, 5%. Out of all those oceans, out of that massive 75% of our entire planet, humans have only explored a tiny, shocking 5% of it. We literally don't even know exactly how deep the ocean truly goes in all places. We don't know all the creatures living down there or what ancient secrets are buried at the absolute bottom. It is a vast, completely alien world right here on Earth. Part 1. Pushing the human limits. To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of the ocean's depth, we're going to start right at the sunlit surface and go straight down. First, let's look at some human milestones, just to understand how far our bodies can go before the ocean really starts pushing back. At just 40 meters down, we hit the standard limit allowed for normal scuba divers. Doesn't seem that deep, right? But past 100 meters, it becomes incredibly dangerous. If deep-sea divers aren't meticulously careful, the crushing water pressure will literally cause different parts of their bodies to shut down. Yet, human endurance is just amazing. An Austrian freediver named Herbert Nitsch shocked the world by diving to 214 meters, and he did this on just a single breath. Building on that, the ultimate world record for scuba diving belongs to Ahmed Gabra from Egypt, who plunged to a mind-bending 332 meters. Now, if Ahmed had pushed just 111 meters deeper, he would have hit 443 meters. To picture exactly what that depth feels like, I want you to imagine the entire height of the Empire State Building in New York. If you ripped it right out of the ground and submerged it entirely underwater, from its base all the way to the tip of its antenna, its very top would hit this 443-meter mark. That is exactly how deep our scuba record holder almost went. Dropping just a bit further down, we reach a hard boundary at 500 meters. This is the absolute maximum diving limit for the largest creature on our planet, the massive blue whale, weighing in at an astonishing 150,000 kilograms. And what's super fascinating here is that this biological limit perfectly matches our technological limit. The American Seawolf, which is a highly advanced nuclear submarine, also cannot safely venture beyond this 500-meter mark. It's like the ocean is effectively telling both nature's giants and human engineering, okay, this is as far as you go easily. Because right past that, the physics get absolutely brutal. Down at 535 meters, the water pressure is equivalent to a heavy, full-grown buffalo standing directly on your body. Imagine that crushing weight. Yet, incredibly, nature somehow adapts. Emperor penguins actually have the biological capability to withstand this immense pressure, and they regularly dive down to this 535-meter level just to hunt. Sinking even further to 830 meters, picture the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. If you turned that massive skyscraper completely upside down and plunged it into the sea, its very tip would rest right here. And this depth is incredibly significant, you guys, because it marks the absolute end of the line for the sun. This is the final, ultimate point where any tiny rays of sunlight can possibly reach. Part 2. Plunging into the dark, the scary zone. As we sink past the 1,000-meter mark, we officially leave the light completely behind. Welcome to what scientists actually call the scary zone. From here on out, it is nothing but complete, chilling, pitch-black darkness. Down here, the water pressure hits 1,500 pounds per square inch, or PSI. Remember our buffalo analogy from a minute ago? Well, the pressure here condenses the entire crushing weight of an African buffalo onto a surface area the exact size of a single coin. It's hostile, it's terrifying, and honestly, it seems totally impossible for anything to live here. But get this, life absolutely does thrive here, in the form of what we can only call real-life monsters of the dark. In this scary zone, you'll find the legendary giant squid. Plunge to 1,280 meters, and you'll run into leatherback sea turtles, the largest turtles on Earth, weighing up to 700 kilograms. Sink even further to 2,000 meters, and you meet the black dragonfish. This incredible creature is pitch black, blending perfectly into the watery abyss, so it's essentially completely invisible unless you hit it with a flashlight. Yet it has evolved this incredibly sharp eyesight to spot its prey in total darkness. And dropping to 2,250 meters, the pitch-black ocean turns into a literal gladiator arena for epic, brutal battles. In one corner, you have the terrifying colossal squid, 14 meters long, 750 kilograms, fully equipped with razor-sharp toothed tentacles and eyes the size of dinner plates. In the other corner, the massive sperm whale, carrying the sheer weight of 2 heavy road rollers. These two are mortal enemies. The squid uses its lethal nets of teeth to ensnare the whale, and if you ever happen to see a deceased sperm whale washed ashore, you'll often find its body completely covered in deep, circular battle scars. It's the undeniable signature of a colossal squid's deadly grip. Part 3. The Abyssal Shipwreck Zone. Plunging past 3,000 meters, we enter a completely different kind of graveyard. This is the abyss. A place where human history is locked away, deep below the surface, perfectly preserved by the freezing cold and intense pressure. Let's quickly map out where our famous ships actually lie, just to give you a true sense of scale. Early on our dive, at just 93 meters down, researchers found the wreckage of the famous British ship Lusitania, which went down in 1950. But compare that to the legendary Titanic. Its massive wreckage sits totally undisturbed in the dark at a staggering 3,800 meters deep. And even further down than that, at 4,781 meters, lies the shattered hull of a crashed World War II battleship. The ocean truly swallows our history whole. So the crucial point here is just how extreme things get down at the 4,000-meter mark. We are fully inside the abyssal zone now, where the pressure reaches a mind-numbing 11,000 psi. That is exactly the equivalent of taking a heavy, full-grown elephant and balancing its entire massive weight onto a single coin. In this totally crushing environment, only the most bizarre, alien-looking creatures can possibly survive. Nightmarish things like the fangtooth, the anglerfish, and the viperfish.
Part 4. The Deadly Hadal Zone.
But guess what? We still aren't at the bottom. At 6,000 meters, we cross a truly terrifying threshold into a place appropriately named after Hades, the ancient Greek god of death and the underworld, where the wicked were said to be taken. To understand why it's called that, consider that the water pressure here is 1,100 times greater than up at the surface. It is so unimaginably powerful that if you dropped a normal, reinforced bulletproof car down here, the water pressure would instantly tear it to pieces in a single, violent jolt. Yet, incredibly, human engineering has actually braved this hellscape. The U.S. Navy's research submarine, the DSV Alvin, which is the exact same sub that searched for the Titanic, pushed safely into this deadly zone all the way down to 6,500 meters. Now, before we finally hit rock bottom, think about this. At 8,848 meters deep, we have officially sunk deeper than the absolute highest peak on Earth. If you ripped Mount Everest out by its roots, flipped it completely upside down, and dropped it right into the ocean, its snow-capped peak would only reach this point. We still have further to fall. Part 5. The deepest known point. We are now entering the absolute extreme. The deepest known point on our entire planet. It's a place located near Guam, known to scientists and explorers as the Challenger Deep. We are at 11,000 meters deep, or about 35,000 feet. Think about the last time you were flying on a commercial airplane. Remember looking out that tiny window at the clouds, seeing how incredibly high up you were above the Earth? Well, the distance you were looking down is the exact same distance you would have to plunge straight down into the pitch-black ocean to reach the Challenger Deep. It is just an awe-inspiring shift in perspective. Amazingly enough, human beings have actually been down here. Let's just trace this history of immense courage for a second. Back in 1960, Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard took a terrifying 5-hour descent in the submarine Trieste to 10,911 meters. And it was so intense that the immense water pressure actually cracked a window on their sub, forcing them to quickly retreat. Decades later, in 2012, filmmaker James Cameron descended to 10,898 meters. But the absolute record belongs to former naval officer Victor Vescovo, who recently took his deep-sea submersible The Limiting Factor completely solo all the way down to the 11,000-meter mark. But here's the thought I really want to leave you with today. Despite Voskova reaching 11,000 meters, researchers believe this still isn't the true bottom of the ocean. It's simply the deepest point we've managed to reach so far. Everything we've talked about today, the invisible dragonfish, the giant squids battling whales in the dark, the crushing pressure that destroys bulletproof glass, all of that is contained within the mere 5% of the ocean that humans have explored. Which leaves us with a chilling question. If this is only the 5%, what monsters, what unbelievable physics, and what ancient secrets are hiding in the dark abyss of the remaining 95%? Thank you so much for exploring with me today.